at NTV.
A very good morning. We're glad you're still with us here on Morning at NTV. Welcome to our Kickstarter discussion where we are speaking Disability Awareness Month. Just a preamble as we enter this discussion. In November 2015, Indigenous Disability Awareness Month, IDAM, was first recognized and officially proclaimed by the Métis Nation of British Columbia, the BC First Nation Summit and the province of British Columbia. In 2016, the Assembly of First Nations, the Council of Yukon, and the province of Saskatchewan also officially recognized and proclaimed the month as well. As we look forward to December 3rd, the day for disabled persons, we are, of course, creating the kind of momentum that needs to help those stakeholders from across the board to address challenges, opportunities, but most importantly to ensure that our colleagues that are differently abled have a very smooth working environment and of course be able to live comfortably. Joining me for the discussion is Yona Waswa, the chairperson of the National Council for Persons with Disability, as well as Naboth Cole, a council member, all here to help us understand and drive the conversation further. A very warm welcome to the program, gentlemen, and a very good morning.
It's a good morning. Thank you for having us here.
How are you doing?
We're well.
Oh, pretty good. Disability Awareness Month. 3rd December is a day for disabled persons, one that helps to galvanize attention in order to appreciate the challenges and the environment within which colleagues who are abled differently do work and operate in. Just bring us up to speed with the state of affairs when it comes to the various objectives and goals that you are pushing. I'll begin with you, Mr. Naboth Cole.
Thank you very much, my brother, for having me this morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much. The whole of this November, as you highlighted it previously, it's our Disability Awareness Month, as you said. And awareness in a sense that we are awakening everyone. Now, of course, yes, policy-wise, economic-wise, our central governments are doing the best they can. But still there is a gap that we feel that needs to be filled. And that gap must be filled by you and me.
That's right.
How? By getting the information that is important that can help a person with a disability to live in a country happily the way they would have.
That's right.
The way you do. So when we come here on air, we're saying, look, we still have some few challenges here and there. Challenges among them is stigma.
A stigma.
Stigma from the public is too high, still too high. We are talking about inclusion. Inclusion, we are talking about inclusion at work. I'm not just justifying here, but I'm saying, for example, how many are in nation media? So something of that nature.
That's right.
And we're saying, look, you see the good thing with us. I normally make people laugh when I say, if you employ a person with a disability, you are 100% sure that you will get the maximum retention.
That's right.
Because he's not going to move out, put the coat at the chair and move out briefly.
That's a good one.
You will sit basically in that chair from 9 up to 5.
Sure.
Then secondly, the government has actually made an environment very well that if we employ a specific number of people, 5 and above, do you know you're exempted from taxes? Some taxes?
Some taxes, yes. Those exemptions.
So there are many advantages that we're bringing to the attention of people. That it's important that persons with disabilities are recognized, are included in every aspect of life, and are loved.
That's right.
Are loved.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Naboth Cole. Now, somebody out there viewing might be wondering, why did I begin with a member of the council and not the chairperson of the council? In my culture, in Butaleja, the lesser person speaks first, and then the big man comes and gives us exactly what the overview is. You're chairperson of the National Council for Persons with Disability. There's a lot that is going on, and I'm sure on your shoulders you are doing your level best to ensure that some of the challenges that he has highlighted are streamlined. Just take us through how the job is going.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Moderator, and good morning, our viewers. Once again, my name is Yona Waswa. I'm the chairperson of National Council for Persons with Disabilities.
Yes.
I will say that, first of all, I want to thank NTV for considering to host us here and making sure that this information is disseminated to everyone in this country. And in summary, we are, as people with disabilities, are using this period to say that we want to move from recognition to reality. Like Dr. Naboth has said, the government of Uganda has enacted very good legal and policy framework. In fact, I think we are the best country in Africa and probably among the best in the world, having very good disability-friendly laws. The challenges we still have right now, and I want to highlight a few of them here as we are preparing to commemorate the International Day for Persons with Disabilities on the 3rd of December at Kole, is that we have continued to have negative attitude. And for me, that is the root cause. Because we have, yes, we could understand if progressive budgetary allocation by government to persons with disabilities. At least the trajectory is quite straight, it's progressive. But we still have negative attitude from ladies and gentlemen who hold offices, who hold the positions of responsibilities. And that is bad. For as long as that continues to exist, then we shall remain recognized by the law, but not really being provided for as the law requires. The other challenge we have continued to get is the challenge of skilled professionals who work on disability. Could be in health, could be in education, because we have various types of disabilities that I may want to tell you at some point.
That's right.
And each disability requires certain kind of professionalism. And we still have limited number of professionals. We are having limited rehabilitation services. And you know, the beauty about rehabilitation is that it helps to intervene in disability at a young age. And once you invest in disability prevention
at a young age,
then you are saving the nation. And as you may have noted, His Excellency is spot on this. He says efforts should be put in preventing disability, of course, as you deal with those who are already existing. Now, we have abuses of a few government services. I'll tell you, every year, the government of Uganda issues out close to 14 billion Uganda shillings on what's called National Grant for Persons with Disability. It's a grant. So members form themselves into an association at the sub-county.
That's right.
And in a group of 5 people, and each group receives a minimum of 5 million Uganda shillings. And that money directly is put onto the group's account at the sub-county. But up to now, in fact, I'm having a very serious case in the Mitiana municipality, where the money was given to the people's accounts, and then the CDO informs the bank not to give the people their money.
A CDO being?
The CDO of Mitiana municipality.
CDO, what is
Community
Development Officer.
Tells the bank,
lowest.
Tells the bank
that
don't give them their money until I give them a clearance letter. And why the government, for example, wanted to eliminate some people in this was because of those kind of behavior. And there are many.
That is in Mitiana district.
Mitiana municipality.
The
money went to the group's account last week on Monday. around Tuesday, Wednesday, the groups began going to the bank, and the bank was telling them,
we have a directive.
Go to the CDO.
CDO.
I have now I call the CDO. The CDO tells me, we use this. We normally the government projects are always commissioned, so we want them to we are organizing to commission these projects on Thursday next week, which is this week.
Before the money can be rolled out.
So I understood her explanation, because we're saying we need all the political leaders to be around, but to give this clout, and that was understandable. Now, I called the bank manager of that bank. I asked her, why are groups not getting their money? And she tells me, in fact, the first two groups that came had even signed their requisition form.
Uganda.
But the challenge was, the CDO came around and they agreed. So when they agreed, first of all, the meeting, if I give them their money, they all went. After a few days, I saw again some people wanting to come and get their money without the clearance of the CDO. So I asked the manager, the CDO is not a party to the contract between you and your client. So why do you get instructions again from the CDO to give their client their money? Up now as I'm talking, groups have not got their money. The money is on the account.
That's interesting.
And their bank is waiting for clearance from CDO. So
interesting there.
The point I'm saying,
please do,
as I come in, is that those in position of leadership, those government officials, please do not abuse the government programs, because the intention of government is to uplift persons with disabilities who are in desperate situations to be people, because we are moving towards a middle income state as the country. As I conclude on this, we have we still have a challenge, of course, with the accessibility. Here, just move around Kampala town here. Look at the potholes. Sample the buildings which are being built now. Even when we have the Building Control Act. Yesterday I was in the NTV municipality. The speaker of NTV municipality is carried. She's already on a wheelchair. And her office is on a second floor. So whenever she wants to go and chair the council meeting, the Kanyamas come, the bouncers come, and they carry on her chair, her wheelchair up to go and chair the council. Can you imagine?
The council premises don't have ramps?
No. So I was there yesterday, I had a meeting with the town clerk, and they were saying they are planning in the next financial year, but we advise as a council that in the interim, a temporary structure should be put in place to enable this speaker to conduct her business in a more human manner.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Yuna Waswa, Chairperson of the National Council for Persons with Disabilities. They are giving us what is no doubt a very grim picture of how decisions are made and how most of the resources are channeled to persons with disability. That is on the technical aspect. I would love at one point to be able to engage those powers that be and put them on the spot on how this money is disbursed. But allow me concentrate on something that I think ought to be given a lot more attention: the economic activities that persons with disabilities engage in. Is there a straightforward framework that helps identify who can do what, where they are, and how the resources can be channeled to them? Perhaps you should walk us through that.
Thank you very much. Briefly, I can say another challenge that we've had in this country, you know, if you're to plan better, you must be having numbers. Right. Numbers, right. As I'm talking right now, we are still working on speculations. Actually, I'm not sure whether the country knows how many persons with disabilities are in this country. The last census, we are at 12.4% of the 45 million. It's a big number.
It's a big, huge number, no doubt about it.
But I think that is one of the challenges that we have. The moment we have the numbers, right, then the country will be able to do it. Now, back to your question, I think there are quite a number of models that will be used to uplift them. But you see, one thing that you're forgetting is that disability and poverty are in consonant.
They're cousins.
They are cousins. Why? Because persons with disability are not always looked at as people who can have a potential in the future, and therefore they are bogged down in most cases. Some of us who've managed to go to some levels, to get some levels of education, it's not been easy.
It's not been easy, yeah.
And I imagine quite a big number of people that are still could have had the capacity to, but they're bogged down. Now, if you're talking about the economic empowerment, we need to look at these two things. Economic empowerment, yes, but what level of literacy are they? At what level of literacy? So they end up remained at a certain level. One, there is power in information.
Yes. And they
Do
don't
they have
it.
information? They don't have it. Secondly, how are you delivering? How are you inseminating information? For example, how can you put an advert on NTV and it's only sound with visual? Do you know that there is a person who cannot hear and see? Are you getting my point?
I do.
How can you write a signpost, write a billboard, and hang it in Kampala, in the Kampala streets? Are you aware that, for example, my brother Yona cannot see beyond a meter? You will see him seated here. I say, oh, what type of disability is that man? No, he can't see beyond a meter. If he's to see on his phone, he has to put it
straight.
Now, you are putting an advert, a billboard, on the Kampala street. So how will that information reach the people? And of which that information would have been important to empower? Do you see where the dilemma is?
Yeah, I
so
see.
There is a holistic problem that we need to deal with.
How can that be addressed?
This can be addressed by considering person with disability important at every decision making. Yes, we are saying, yes, somebody will say, but you at all levels, you have MPs, at district you are there. Yes, but the number is negligible. Out of 480 MPs, there are 4 or 5. So can 5 people influence
the decisions
that are supposed to be? So we need to go back. As I said when I was opening my talk here, I said, look, it's your responsibility, it's my responsibility to make this difference happen. Okay. Everything that you are to do, bear in mind. Just briefly, if you are to talk, if we are to talk about infrastructure establishment in our country, how many buildings? Talk about school. Yes, there is primary, universal primary education. There is secondary, a universal secondary education. Even at government, at university, there is a grant. As long as you have 2 points and you have a certificate, you qualify to go to the university, government university, and the government pays. But you see, I'm going to pass, but I fail to access the building. I will go to the university, I fail to access the lecture room on level 3. I get retakes. Remember, at the university, I happen to belong there. When we are asking, in filling the form, we don't have the category of disability. They say, are you disabled? Do you have disability? So that when I'm marking, I'm able to know. So holistically, it's a big challenge that we need to deal with.
Okay. Yeah. As we enter the final bend of this discussion, allow me to ask Mr. Yona Waswa what you've clustered for the Disability Awareness Month, the issues that you've selected among the many to amplify, and where exactly the activities or processes are going to be. Whom are you targeting within the greater community itself?
Oh, thank you very much. The activity will be climaxed in Kole district on the 3rd of December.
Yes.
And this year's theme as a country is leadership and mindset change, a tool for inclusive development.
A leadership and mindset change, a tool for inclusive development.
That's the theme for this year. And like the theme suggests,
yes,
most of our activities we are going to have, like now today we are here, We are going to have people demonstrating their potentials. Even at Kole, we shall have the petition. I mean, the challenges that people with disabilities face.
Handing over
put it to a compact, and will be issued to the vice president, who is going to be the guest of honor.
Yeah.
We are going to also launch the status report on persons with disabilities in the country. We are planning to have a symposium on the 2nd of December in Kole.
Yes.
And this is going to be more interactive. We also want to get feedback from persons with disabilities, particularly those from the communities. Want to, because the challenge is, and you would agree that if someone sees me and Dr. Naboth here
on TV,
they would imagine that that's a clique of elites of persons with disabilities, you know, who are speaking on our behalf. But this symposium is also going to raise the voices of the community-based persons with disabilities. And at the end of it all, we hope that the duty bearers will be able to implement
the resolutions.
But most importantly, we are also going to examine ourselves and say, okay, like I said, from recognition to reality.
Yes.
We have got, for example, leaders representing persons with disabilities at all levels. Of what significance is this to the average person with disabilities life? What needs to be changed?
And how?
Yes.
All right.
But like the question that you asked, Doctor, I'll just tell you about economic development.
Can you use 30 seconds? I don't have a lot of time.
Yes, for persons with disabilities.
Yeah.
And like NTV, I would thank you. I think you covered my story sometime back last year.
We cover many stories.
You covered my story, my own story. I think it was Emma Mutavaizibwa, his program Panorama, and Richard Kemigisa. I have a company. I was employing people. I was contracted by...
All right. That's very interesting, and of course something that should be able to inspire those out there. Many thanks, Mr. Yona Waswa, Chairperson of the National Council for Persons with Disabilities, as well as Naboth Cole, a member of the Council on the Insight, and of course the perspectives regarding people with a disability ahead of December 3rd, where we shall be, of course, commemorating the Day of Persons with Disability. That will do it for the discussion. It's been a pleasure having your company. We'll be right back.
Watching Morning at NTV.